Borderless Friendship Foundation. It's a Thai organization based in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And they work with the hill tribe people up in the northwestern part of Thailand, up against the Burma, or now it's called Myanmar, border. And it's an area of about 300 or 400 square kilometers. And up in that area there are thousands of tribe people. And these people originally, I think, came from Burma a generation or two or three ago, but they've never been able to acquire Thai citizenship. So therefore they don't have an identity card, which all Thai people have. And because of that, they are prohibited from leaving that area. It's like they live in a great big 300 or 400 square kilometer prison. Without these identity cards, they don't have any access to health care or to higher education, university or whatever. They're really restricted. And so what happens is they do have elementary schools up there. And by the way, I said thousands of people, and I don't know, dozens of villages like scattered throughout this area. And the children, they do have elementary schools, which the Thai government sends the worst teachers, the ones that fail in the big cities, they send them up there. So the education is very poor, but they do have schools up to elementary. At the end of elementary school, they have virtually no options. They have two or three options. They can get married, like at 12, 13, 14 years old, and that doesn't speak well for their future economic life. Or what happens more often is that the girls, they get trafficked to southern Thailand, to China, to Indonesia, to Malaysia, etc., into the sex trade. This happens two ways. By the way, most of these villages have recruiters in the village, and everybody knows who they are. But it can happen two ways. The girls can be tricked into it, and the family's tricked into it, and they think they're going to go to work in a hotel or become a maid in a home, and they end up in a brothel. Or the families are so poor, sometimes they will sell the girls, and the girls feel it's their duty to their family to do this. And most often, the families never see their girls again unless they come home to die of AIDS. It's very, very sad. You'll go into these villages and you won't see any teenage girls, or very, very few. Now the boys, that doesn't usually happen to them, of course. But their other option is they're so close to Burma that they end up as drug runners across the border. And if they're caught by the Burmese or Myanmar police or army, they're shot just like animals, and they just die. And the governments really consider these people just one step above animals.
You can't understand. Have you even been hungry for one day? Have you been hungry for 2 days? Have you been hungry for a week? Is your grandmother going to die because there is no rice? It's a whole nother level. So when we work with these people, we really have to work with those basic needs, and poverty belies everything. So if there's no food, and if they don't have shelter, and they're sleeping on a dusty road, and it's wet and cold or hot, then they can't even think about education. So we first have had to attend to those sorts of needs, and making sure that they've got a reliable food source, that they are near a school, that there's a shelter that they can trust, and they're in a safe place. So back in the village where they don't have those opportunities, the sex trafficking thrives out in those villages because there's such poverty, and someone comes, we know the traders are there, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. It's corruption to the highest level. And they offer a bag of rice, they offer a second-hand roof on their house that is already, the rainy season's there and water's coming in. So might be one, might be two middle daughters, and they go. We work with some villages, there are no 13, 14, 15-year-old girls.
Back home, I'm an advocate for public education, schools in Texas for that matter. And for example, on a Friday, we may have kids that, because of their economically disadvantaged situation, we'll pack them a lunch and they'll take this, or that is, we'll pack them meals for the weekend, knowing that we're going to get them back on Monday, and yes, they may be hungry, and we'll feed them breakfast, and with a full belly, we'll begin that diffusion of knowledge, if you will. And that's right there is the difference. You see, here in the hill country, the hill tribes, there is no Monday. Here, the difference, there is no safety net as we're accustomed to, let's say, back in Texas, back in my hometown. Here, the consequence goes dramatically from A to Z. Here, the consequence on Monday could be, unfortunately, the issue of prostitution with 13, 14, 15-year-olds. Here, unfortunately, the issue is, here between a Friday and a Monday, it's the exposure of being kidnapped, for example. It's the exposure to the young men of the introduction of drugs, for example, alcohol. It's the exposure, it's all these negative exposures that there is no Monday. The care that needs to be given here and the focus is a serious matter. The consequences are way too high. And that is the perception. That is the difference that I noticed in my visit here.
Here in Thailand, the hill tribe people like to be Thai. Like to be Thai. Like to get ID card. To get ID card is something that means so that we get everything in my ID card. This is a very good experience for us. Here we told everyone, the first thing is we will see that the cases of the kids that need help, really need help. Because once we need help means the kids that they are really willing to learn.
The kids there was about, I think, around 33 kids in ages from about 2 to 12 or 13. They had no caregiver. They had to get up early in the morning, build a fire here, cook their rice, help the little kids get ready, walk to school, get dressed and walk to school. This was their kitchen. So yes, they come from very, very bad. I was at another one of these hostels or orphanage or whatever on this last trip, and the sewage system is horrible, and the holding tank is not big enough, and these kids have to go and scoop out the stuff and throw it out in the bush, like it's really awful. So Borderless Friendship Foundation had a dream. If the kids can get an education, their high school, that is a pathway for them to get their citizenship. They can't get a high school education because they live so far. There is a city in that area that they're allowed to go to, but they live so far up in the mountains, and with a car or a motorbike it's about an hour, well, depending where they live, it's about an hour to get to the city. But they don't have cars, they don't even have motorbikes, so it's an impossibility. So the dream of Borderless Friendship Foundation was to build some kind of a hostel or a home near the city, near the town, where there's high schools, so these kids could get an education and then eventually get their citizenship and then have the world opened up for them.
School is the pathway to ID. The school can support that application, we can support that application, but it's not an easy automatic pathway because sometimes there's corruption. Other people who shouldn't get ID get ID. Sometimes these people are just sent away because they're not in a powerful position to have the right forms. It's not their language. Or sometimes it's challenges like they live 4 hours away. They have no petrol. So to come and sit in a government office all day only to be told, well, that's it, the government office is closed now, come back tomorrow. Well, they have no food, they have no nothing. Or they're told you have not got that bit signed or you have not got that bit. So for some, it's such a lengthy process. So education is really the key, and Promote is core to that, trying to make that process and work with the local municipalities to make that as streamlined as possible. part of our role, and again, I speak Nitnoi Thai, Nitnoi, a little bit Lahu, but I work with Promote, and we have community forums in the middle of nowhere up in the mountains, and we might have 150 Hill Tribe people come, and we talk about the reality. What is this really like for your girls? Your girls will wear low tops, short skirts. Men they don't know will hurt them. They will not be given food. They will not go to a good school. It is all a lie. So everything you will get told is a lie. They will not be sending money back to you. They will not be providing rice for grandma. I've done a lifetime of doing sexuality education, lecturing at university, and working with teachers and communities. And I think that legacy continues. There's many people doing that work. But I guess for me, the connection, I have a strong connection with Promote and his family. And that is a beautiful doorway into this community. So we don't ever impose, we're working with the community. So for me, I guess I've just found the place that lights me up and has a real need because of the sex trafficking. So there's a real need for the work that I do, so the sexuality education. I realise there is such a need to educate here. There is sexual abuse, there is sex trafficking, the rights of women and girls, and this whole attitude. Why do people stop and think it's okay to rape a 12-year-old at a roadside? Why this attitude of entitlement that somehow men are entitled to behave badly, and it's entrenched? So I wanted to do sexuality education, but it has to come from the people. So we did fundraising, and we got Promote and Yadal out to Australia to go to a 1-week course, the very best award-winning program for Indigenous people, for Aboriginal people in our country. And so they joined other Aboriginal people, and they learned. Suddenly they understood this is important. It's not just about sex. This is about parenting, not being an early parent, about what does a healthy relationship look like? How do you have fun? So I got them on board. We adapted and modified. We've made resources that are totally relevant to young people. They have fun, and their education here is just boring, rote learning, not fun. So they come for a weekend and they love it. We feed them beautifully. They have fun. They connect with others. They've travelled maybe 4 or 5 hours, and we fund all that. So for a whole weekend, $2,500 for 50 young people to have access to resources. So these kids get books and pamphlets, and they're supported in any way. So they leave feeling really empowered, and that's what we say to them, that they are the leaders, they are the voice. They are the voice to go back to the village and say, those people who are shoved in the corner, because some of the villages, up to 30% of HIV/AIDS. And in the old days, I'm talking 5 years ago, 6 years ago, my old days here, there was some village with about a third with people with HIV/AIDS, and they used to pass food on a stick to these people. So now I worked with a women's group, we've worked with the young people to educate. You can't get HIV like that. So we've talked about all those things, and now people understand there's less discrimination. I'm not saying, all the discrimination is gone, but so part of it is them empowering their own community and being a voice and being peer educators, really. So they go away feeling very confident to talk about this, which in the beginning there was a lot of shame, and we can't speak about it. So it's very important for them.
So I think I would like to do something that I love, especially 300 villages. They send the leaders of each community, each tribe, each group, come to my house. They said, Pramod, we would like you to lead us because you are the one that we trust. I said, Pramod, please help. So second time I said, are you really like to do that? Because to run organization ourselves is money. He said, don't worry about money. Tell us about what kind of organization that we need to have. So I said, foundation. But foundation need money. They said, how much? So I told the number. These are for lawyer, these are for this. And they said, okay, we will divide it by this amount. And they go back, they collect money from the people, the communities. And they put in front of me, okay, this is the money that we need. And I hired the lawyer and register as this Borderless Friendship Foundation. We spent 2 times at my home and then 2 times in the hotel. We went to a very, very cheap hotel. Everyone shared the food, the room. We set up strategy. We set up the name. You are my sunshine.
Pramod is amazing. We would need hours to talk about this man and his sacrifice and passion for his people. He has given up a really amazing paid job in community development to work with his people because they need a leader. Pramod is a Black Lahu Hill Tribe leader, and because he's Hill Tribe, that is core to who he is. So he grew up incredibly poor, but his father was a wise village leader.
We from very poor family. We have 7, and we have 2 boys in our family. I'm the 6th. So according to we are very poor, no one get a real education. But I am the 6th, so it seems like my father think that I have he need to support me many ways. But he have no money. He just said, go to school. And he always borrow from one person. And sometimes he got 20 baht, sometimes he got 5 baht. He give me 5 baht. So I take that one, go to school. Each time we have to stay in there about 1 month or 2 months because the school is very far away.
6 years old, he had to walk for hours and hours, find a school. He said, all I can send you with is a prayer. And Pramod studied and studied and studied. And a teacher noticed he was always in the library at lunchtime.
Most of the kids go to the dining hall to buy things. They're happy. But for me, I just skip into the library. Library is just at the back of a kitchen. And people look at me and say, why this boy do not go to eat? So someday the teacher come me and said, why do you don't eat? I said, I have no money. But I never give up. Once I don't have money, my friend go to eat. I went to library. I read a lot. And I love to study. And because I can see my whole community, they are very poor. My father, my mother, I was so hungry even at home. So I think if I had a chance, I had to study hard. I had to have better life. That's why I study so hard.
And a teacher noticed him. Who is this boy always in the library, working so hard? Who is this clever boy wanting to learn Thai? Who is this clever boy? And one teacher helped him with some food, and it just grew. He's so committed to education and bettering, even at a young age. So he got a scholarship, and he got support through secondary school. He has a bachelor in community development and a master's in sustainable agriculture. So all that supported King's Scholarship, and amazing man.
He supported me a lot for my work because I love to work with people.
Well, I can remember one day we were going up to take some photographs of children and for sponsorship. We have sponsorship of children, and he got a phone call, as he is constantly on the phone, and someone said there is a young Lahu man, he's been in a very bad accident and his leg has been cut off from under the knee. So we just turned around and drove half an hour, and we drove in, and there's the mum, pale, with her 26-year-old son. And the sisters and everyone's around crying. He had just come out of hospital, infection and not well. So this young man was working with the Royal Project, so a really industrious young man supporting his two sisters going to school, and Lahu. So they were from a distant village, and so this young man was supporting, no father, supporting his family. And a car had hit him as he was turning in, so he had right of way. And this car paused, saw it was a hill tribe man, and kept driving. Luckily, other people saw, stemmed the bleeding. His leg was hanging off, his bottom of his leg. But the story goes on. Promote became involved and said, "You have lost your leg. I will help. We can get Rotary. We can get you a stump for your leg. We can try and help with that. But you have lost your income, and you deserve to be compensated. Who is this man who has done this and left you?" So they found out who he was, but he'd gone into Myanmar. But Promote does not give up. As soon as he came back, Promote was onto it. And finally had a meeting with this man, Royal Project, the family, and this man agreed. It was the equivalent of about 30,000 Canadian Australian dollars. A lot of money, not a lot in our terms, but a lot. But this was now to sustain this family. So we thought that was the end of the story. It's sad, but he would have some compensation, some hope. So I go away and I come back 2 months later, and for another month, Promote said, "We're so busy, we've got the opening of something. Sister, I have to go to court." "Why?" And I know downstairs, I get out, go down, there's the man with one leg and his mum downstairs. Always people turning up for food, and they were going to court. The man with the car was going to sue the Hill Tribe man for damage to his car, so he didn't have to pay the 30,000. And if Promote had not intervened, this man would have had to go to court and be jailed for the damage to the man's car. But because Promote was there and got a lawyer, in terms of being a voice, if you don't have language, if you're not Thai and you're not articulate, if you look different, for Thai people, there's a lot of discrimination. They think the children are incapably educated. They're stupid monkeys. They're not citizens. So to get representation in terms of a legal system or healthcare, it has taken Promote and many of the people that work with him to give Hill Tribe people a voice.
Dr. Laura is if in Thailand, if she did not help, in Thailand we need about 4 or 5 people here, but she do everything by herself. That's why people saw at our organization, Borderless Friendship. It seems like very good reputation, big project, because of 200 or 300 kids are sponsoring scholarship. How many people do you have, Promote? Where is your office? How many cars do you have? How many story, how many room of your office? You get this kind of always question. Yeah. No full-time staff, all volunteer. In our organization, Borderless Friendship Foundation, we have no one. No one pay as full-time staff. So mostly we are always have volunteer. So the most strong volunteer is my family, because my wife, she understands because we have the same experience, couple of poor family. She understands what we are going to do, what we are doing here. At the same time, my son, he also understands, because I always work with the poor communities. He follow me. So when he go up, we transfer him about this kind of knowledge. How lucky you are, you have dad and mom. How lucky you are, you have to go to school, but you need to help them. So he understands, he helped me a lot. So the most strong volunteer is my family. Yeah, we all understand the same way. We have the same like mind. And the other people like our board of our foundation, also our strong volunteer as well. Even they don't have so much staff, but we use their ability in different ways. Each one, some are business, some are the professor in university, so we got help us a lot. Yeah, Borderless Friendship Foundation nowadays it's like people just giving the name to us. They say you are the place for learning center. Like today we have grand opening. Actually, this district governor, he has very limited time to come. That today they sit here about 2 hours, 3 hours, because after they heard the story. And many people said, if the church come to your place, you have to ask how many minutes he has. But this morning I forget to ask. But our ceremony is quite go for long. But I see that he stay here until he eat, and what he communicate to us, oh Pramod, you have to set up the training program here. He will come and help. After meal, after lunch, after he went to the farm, he said, oh Pramod, you have everything here. We really need. You really need to have set up this place as a learning center, because he is the chief here, this cow, this Chiangdao. He know many organizations, many groups of the youth group. He like to send those people to learn here, to train here. So in the future, we think we are going to be that learning center. But we don't talk about it, but people give the name to us.
Before the first phase of the leadership home was constructed, they were not going to take any kids until it was constructed, but there were some kids that they were going to lose. The girls were going to be taken to brothels and the boys were going to be shipped out of the country, and so they were desperate. So they had this building here, and so they used this building for the first group of 7 while that building was being constructed. The boys stayed in one of these rooms right here, and the girls stayed down there. And so you can see the difference from here to the leadership home now. So they had to get up in the morning and cook their meals, get themselves cleaned up and dressed, and cleaned up, I don't know how they did it, but anyway, and then go to school, walk to the elementary school, which probably would have been maybe a 30-minute walk, not that far, but not close, and come back, and this is how they lived. If you could see that, and you could see now what the lucky few that have been chosen, the contrast is just unbelievable. And the last time I was there, again, just a few weeks ago, they put on a bit of a program, and they had a number of the kids come up to the microphone and tell how their life has been changed in just a few months that they've been there.
tin lúc cả khai tia che bà với na
ที่นี่ก็ได้เจอเพื่อนใหม่และมีเพื่อนที่นิสัยดีๆนะครับแล้วก็มีเพื่อนที่คอยช่วยเหลือเราคอยให้กำลังใจเรานะครับก็อยากเป็นนักวอลเลย์บอลแล้วก็ครูภาษาอังกฤษค่ะอนาคตนะครับผมก็อยากเป็นช่างไฟครับเพื่อจะไปต่อไฟที่หมู่บ้านผมนะครับแล้วจะไปติดตั้งสัญญาณครับ
We're moving forward. We've got young people in vocational education. We've got nurses. We've just got our first person graduating in public health. We've got young people graduating in marketing. We've got people who are going to be incredibly capable working in government offices, changing the views and opening the door for Hill Tribe. So these people are totally focused on supporting their own people. They don't get education and think, well, we'll go to Bangkok now. They really want to give back to their community, to be the nurses in the community centres that actually do a good job, not just dish out useless antibiotics. They want to really help their people. So that's my experience, is they're very motivated to further all their people, to further their family, to further their village.
งาชิบงาติเชเวเลกะยันแอหาซาเวเล
ngà hà lệ cha ngà mà sa cha tê ya cô ngà hư ya nè khó khu lô khu ya ngà hư khé lì phê chỉ gà về ama tê lê cô ngà hư ya nè phê về tia tha chú chú má cho cô su chả má gà mi su lô má su phê che về khé mồi tia tha ngà hư khó khu cho tin tia tha hạ cá tụ cho cha khé lê ngà mà cho về ngà ya nè su khé su tê mù thà ngà khé lì phê chỉ tụ ngà hư đô lô cha lệ ngà khé lệ yo thà khé tê hạ pi tụ ngà đô lô ta về yo lệ tê ya cô ngà hư laหูยาแผลเวปะโตงาละหูยาถะพัฒนาปีแผลสิกาเวมาเตเลกงเนเหล่ายาเนเหล่าอยู่ยาคนไหนเนมาหาปีหัวสุจะหาปีเลยอามาอมอปูกาเวเลยโนสุชดจือถะสุถะมาหากาโกโนชดจือถะมาหากาโกสุถะกะหามากาเนกะเคเลอยู่อามาเตเลกฟุสขมามาจอยากะชอยันมาสฮาเลกุเลเนโชติกาถะหาซากาเลโชดะเพลาเวโอเวเลดาจาเวมาซาจาเวติจือเพเวโยเล
Future, I want to see our kids at leadership home, going to have a job, to have a good education, not in this cycle of a drug and a prostitute. I want to see the change. You imagine if 20 people come to leadership home, and this generation after finish university, new coming, and the one that's in university and also finish working, and the new coming always from 20 children change the whole village, and from each year 40 to be 80 to be 100. So it's a big change for the whole mountain. I want to see that change.
Did you see hope?
Hope is the opportunity of hope is undescribable. There are the leadership home, there's the Borderless Friendship, there's the Helping Hands. There are individuals that have a passion beyond measure that can make a difference and are making a difference in what I saw. Of course, everything starts with the contribution of the dollar. The dollar is nothing more than a vehicle to making that dramatic change.
It goes to the hostels, and every cent, we don't take commission, so every cent goes to the hostels. But we do more than just provide that. We do things like we teach, promotes expertise is sustainable agriculture. And so teaching, and for example at Children at Leadership Home, they have access to pigs and poultry. They're learning about growing garlic, growing their own vegetables. So everything is supplemented by what they do, because the $30 a month really just covers just the very, very basics. So teaching them life skills, and sexuality education is part of that, but so too is all the skills that they learn in the garden. So our living kitchen is a living classroom for them.
leadership home của cô cho ta bây giờ mẹ là thằng con nữ mà là một chỗ nằm mắt dưới lên cái cháu chắc phải là chứ khi cả nữ mà một chỗ cả nữ cả quá cho phượt mẹ chứ mẹ cũng chắc phải mẹ chứ áp phải tụi lại với mẹ chứ với mẹ đấy chứ tôi à với chứ là chắc phải với chứ là cái tên gọi là ở chỗ má ô ngà hư ya nè đi lên ở chỗ má phải bây giờ lên má chắc phải với tia tha chú thà cả bé pi lệ họ cứ họ gà con người cả họ lệ tiếp bỏ chun cọ tê lệ cọ tê về yếu lệ hay ngờ áp hệ cả cho ta với ngờ là áp hệ của cha tê chữ lệ ngờ hư lệ mau cha ngờ lệผัดbỏ xá phít chaอยู่ngờ tê lệ ngờ hưร่างกายสุขภาพจิตสุขภาพกายกระดาcha vềอยู่แม่เลย
Before school, after school, they learn about caring of pigs, and they learn amazing skills.
Na bà tê lốp bưng ngà đôi cho cha về lệ ngà ya nè thà ngà khó ya ết thà ngà đôi cho cha ngà hạ cá cha ama tele của cô ngà tin yo hạ sa pi về pi tu đôi lo cha về yo lệ nhà tê ya cô ngà tô cô bà hu cá sệ tê về ngà khó ya thề về bà to ngà đôi cho cha về lệ bà hu lại cá sệ tê về ngà đôi cho cha ama tê cô chú tê chừng hư phệ che về mình mà sa cha về ở chỗ đi แพะไปอยู่เนเตียไปเตียท่าว่าเอาจับปี้ว่าเอาเตียท่าอุจาเตียท่าฮ่าเลยจ้าติดชื่อตัวหาตุกามาโจเลยมาสาวิเดติโตอยู่เลย
The pathway is definitely education, and so through our sponsorship, $30 a month really, it helps the parents see that let's keep them in school because we don't have to pay anymore if their uniform is provided, if they've got food. Maybe we can do without them in the field and we'll keep them in school.
So there is success here.
Oh, there's so much. There's success everywhere when we see, for example, Suratai was living in a horrific circumstances. His family were too poor to transport him every day to school. They simply could not afford petrol in a motorbike, so they stay in a hostel for 10 months a year, so they're close to a school. But this hostel, before we became involved, it was just terrible circumstances and really no joy. But through sponsorship and a lot of people from Australia and now really around the world helping improve that accommodation, then the standard lifted. Then we got Leadership Home. So that meant that his hard work in staying through grade 6, he could come here. So he's now come here, and very quickly the school at first very reluctant to take these Hill Tribe children. Who are these children? This is a very good school. A bit of reluctance. Maybe they're very stupid, these children, and the teachers, you remember, are Thai, so they've already got these prejudice. But this school took, with a lot of conversation from Promote and Nipar, the manager of Leadership Home, and accepted the children. These children are excelling. These children are number one. They're winning scholarships. They're the top science students, top English students. So they have paved the way and changed the views now. So many principals I have talked to just say, I used to be ignorant and think they were stupid monkeys. They couldn't learn. Now I realise they are so intelligent and such hard-working kids. So their views have changed, and that door to education, not only is it open, but please can you send more of those children? So they really welcome the children, and the children seem to have, they don't suffer discrimination. They never tell, they love going to school, and they're just so proud of being able to go and fit in.
We need to make sure that we implement a Monday. Where there's a Friday, we need to guarantee that there is that Monday to follow, that there is that hope to be given for these kids to have an opportunity. The foundation that we all enjoy, it's when it comes to security, shelter, those, and of course, hunger, food. Setting that foundation for these individuals provides us the framework to educate. Education is the pathway. Education provides you the opportunity of lifelong learning, which provides all of us, as we all know, the opportunity for freedom, the opportunity for liberty, the opportunity to succeed, and however way we describe that success or however it's ever defined, that's what it does. Education is key, and that is what's happening here. Not diminishing all the need in our own backyard, but the difference is the consequence. The consequences here are dramatically, the stakes are higher. And this is why there has to be room within our hearts of passion. We can find some space and some time to make sure that we address the children of Thailand.